Mr. Minnick here, helping my VB students learn how to write for loops. Write the following for loops, use J as your loop variable. Okay, J, we're going to need for J here, and so on. You could use other letters, but why? The standard traditional loop variable name is to use the letter J in Visual Basic. Trace the loops where columns are provided. Okay, I see sum and J right there, they're provided. You'll have to trace this and this for full credit. Also, be sure to circle your final values. So eventually something will be circled here under sum and something under J. And sum is initialized to 0 everywhere on this worksheet. We'll talk about that later. Okay, number 1, complete the for loop so it moves this little picture box to the right 10 pixels per step. So every for loop has a step amount. If you don't see the word step, you're supposed to assume it's a step 1. So each time that we step around here and loop, this picture box moves 10 pixels to the right, and that's already been done for you. It already is set to go plus 10. If you had to write this from scratch, like on next week's test, you should be able to write all this code out based on the wording of this exercise. All we have to do here today is fill in these 2 blanks. Well, why not start J at 1? That's just the typical beginning point for a for loop, J. The question is, how far do we have to take J? Well, think about it. If you want to go 10 pixels per step for a total of 40 pixels, so that you're way over here at the end, but each step of the way you went 10 pixels, how many times will you have to step? Someone? Lucy?
4.
Good job, Lucy C. 2015. Got that one right. So there you are. That's all Lucy and I have to say about exercise number 1. On your maze assignment, you might have situations where you want to go 80 pixels. And by the way, it's always 10 pixels at a time on the maze assignment that you're currently working on. So if you want to go 80 pixels, what number will we put in here? Quinn? Oh, sorry, I thought you... 8, correct. So 80 pixels divided by 10 would be 8. It would work, John, if you wanted to be a rebel. You could, instead of 1 to 4 here, you could do 11 to 14, and it would still look correct. There are people, trust me, that do weird things when they write code. And they don't even do it on purpose. You'll have coworkers someday that just the way they learned something or the way they counted it out on their fingers, they think that you, for some reason, have to start at 11 and then go 4 from there, which is 14, not 15. So we'll get to that in a second, but think about it. 1 to 4 is the same as 11 to 14. Hey, it's the same as 21 to 24. Or, now this is a real rebel. You could do, instead of 1 to 4, you could do 21. No, let's even be crazier. You could do like 98 to what number? What number would you have to put in here for it to be exactly 4 iterations? Good job, Leah. A lot of people get that wrong, and they say 102 because 102 minus 98 is 4. But think about it. The original 1 to 4 that we knew was correct. The subtraction, the difference is 3. So any pair of numbers where this difference is 3 would work correctly. And why is that? Why do Visual Basic for loops require, in this situation, a lower boundary and an upper boundary to have a difference of 3 when you really wanted to move something 4 steps? Leah, loudly for the microphone.
Because time because apparently computers are stupid. So it goes past 1 extra time than it should.
Excellent. I could barely say it better myself. In fact, it sounds like you're just copying what I said yesterday. Good job. Because of what's called the fence post error, that's in Wikipedia, and also known as OBOB or OBO, and they even use a for loop in Wikipedia. They even have a for loop that's used to show the example that many people in this great country and around the world really have been off by one because of this way the computers are. Moving on now to number 2. In this video, to be famous, somebody volunteer an answer here for the fill in the blanks. I want to add up all the numbers from 1 to 4, but not manually with my calculator or scratch paper. I want the loop to do the work so that the final circled answer here for sum is whatever that adds up to. I know you can do it in your head, but I want the loop to do it. Because what if it was like 4,000? You couldn't do that in your head. You wouldn't have enough time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, up to 4,000. So if you can do it for 1 to 4, you can do it for 1 to 1,000. Tell me what numbers to fill in there. Volunteer, please. I heard a 1. That's correct. And I hear a 4. And what variable name goes in here? You got it. More importantly, let's trace it and make sure you understand why that total ends up being what it is. So here goes the tracing of this correct for loop. We were told that sum is initialized to 0 in all these exercises. So you can assume that that starts at 0. Now it gets good. J equals 1 to 4. J starts at 1. We go through the loop. The plus equals is called the compound operator, vocab word due Monday. And it means go to J, find J's current value 1, and add it into sum from right to left here. We always add from right to left. The 1 gets added into sum. Well, you look at sum previously, it's 0. In your head, you add 1 to it, and you now have a total of 1. Done. Almost. We hit the word next. Darn it. We have to go back up to the top. We're not done yet. That's the whole point of a loop, to do something over and over again. But this time, we step J. But it doesn't say step. Oh, just like up here, the default is step 1, you're supposed to assume. So J steps up by 1, it increments. And now we go through the loop again. But J changed. Some weeks, a car salesman sells a lot of cars. J is a big number, perhaps. Other weeks, maybe because of weather conditions, nobody shops for cars, and the car salesman doesn't have a lot of sales. Life isn't always about plus equals 1 like yesterday's worksheet was. It's not always a fixed amount that you're adding in a counter statement. Sometimes you accumulate numbers that just differ. And J is now 2, so plug a 2 in temporarily there and add it into sum. So Patty, what is sum now going to be? Sum is 3. The J was 2, but it added into sum with the original 1. So 1 plus 2 is 3. Good job. Cross that 1 out. And now we hit the word next. Not done yet. I have to go back up to the top. So when do we end anyway? Oh, we end when we go over this 4. And the J, it steps 1. It's still not over the 4 yet, so we got to keep going. We erase our scratch work in this situation because J keeps changing on us. Kayla, what is this line of code telling me to do right now? Add 3, very good. And coincidentally, it's adding 3 to 3. Sum is 3, but 3 added to that is 3, so it's sum is 6. Students sometimes put the wrong numbers in the wrong column, and it throws them off, and they lose a lot of points. So stay focused. Because of the way this works, this 3 is added into the existing 3 for sum. We hit the word next. We have no option because we're a stupid computer. We go back up to the top. That's all we know. we step 1 automatically at that point, and we look. And when you have the same exact number, do you go through the loop again? In Visual Basic, at least. Yes, you do. That's not true in other computer languages. I don't want to mix you up, though, so let's not talk about that. In Visual Basic, you do go through the loop again. And we're good at this now. We go look at J. Hannah, what's J equal to right now? 4. Where do we add the 4? Tyler, what do I do with this 4? Good job, to sum, which I don't have room here, so just kind of squeeze it in there. 6 plus 4 is 10. We hit next. We're a stupid computer. We go back up to the top because that's all we know what to do. Step 1, we bump J up because that's what we automatically do. Then we realize, whoa, horsey. We don't go through the loop anymore because this number is greater than that number and we're done. So the final circled values are 10 and 5. Hey, by the way, these 2 columns, these things are not necessarily lined up. Sometimes you end up with more numbers in the one column than the other. Never try to line these up. It's not meant to be done that way. Any questions on the final answers here of this loop tracing? Number 3, I don't want to do all of your homework for you, but let's use J as a loop variable. Let's write the word next. If you just need partial credit and you don't know what else to do, at least write 4 and next. Oh, we need the word 2 here. What numbers go in here? Help me out. Yeah, I threw a curveball at you. Instead of 1 to 4 here, I want 4 to 8. Is anything in this wording? Oh yeah, you have an old version of Worksheet. That's why I'm remaking this video. This video is meant to match the current online version of this worksheet. So if I want to add up the numbers 4 to 8, you'd want to go step 1. And don't write step 1 since it's the default. That just annoys me. I mean, I won't take points off, but don't write step 1 because everybody knows everything's step 1 by default. We want sum plus equals j here because that's how these accumulator statements work. And now it's just a matter of time spent tracing it on your own. I don't want to do all this homework for you. I will remind you that sum starts at 0. And in this case, the j starts at 4. Good luck with this. Whatever number you end up circling for sum, it should be 4 plus 5 plus 6 plus 7 plus 8. Courtney's, though, is really good at this. Courtney, what will the last number of j be, even though it seems like a paradox? 9. Yeah, it's going to be 1 higher than this 8. But it's the journey, after all, that counts. It's the lessons that you learned on the way to that 9, the crossouts that sometimes matter. So I will be looking at all of this for full credit tomorrow, the tracing here. Moving on to number 4. On the current version of this worksheet, you're supposed to tell people that you love VB 5 times. So you do need a j variable. You do need the word next. And you are doing a step 1, so don't put a step in there. There's no sum or anything like that. You better remember how to do a messagebox.show, but instead of hello world, it's I love VB. And don't be a radical person and put like 13 to 17, because that would iterate 5 times. 13 to 17, just start at 1 and put whatever number there you need to put. I don't want to say it out loud in the video. The rest of this is homework there on number 4. Number 5, getting you started on that one. 4j equals, interesting. I only want to add up the numbers 2, 4, 6, 8, and stop there. Interesting. Okay, go ahead, tell me, Kat, what's the step amount going to be if you are efficient? 2, very good. You'll want a step 2 here, out here to the far right. And you'll need to go, instead of 1 to something, and if you're following along, I'm not sure which one you're working on, the jelly. What do I want as my lower boundary here for number 5? 2, very good, yeah. Not 1 in this situation. Okay, so I'll let you finish the rest of this, including the tracing that goes on over here. But if John wants to check his final answer, he could, with his calculator or his brain power, just add up 2 plus 4 plus 6 plus 8. Whatever that adds up to should be the sum.
Are all these sum plus equals J?
Yeah.
Is that what all these are?
Yeah, I'll just give that away. I gave it to help to the other class. I'll just tell you. I wouldn't want to guess in how many Berks County businesses, sometime during the business day to day, payroll software or other sales software or whatever they do in the business world, I bet there are a lot of for loops with a line of code very similar, if not identical, to sum plus equals J executing out there. If we really had to, I could show you in a website like whyimmissingchess.com, and I have to be careful because this is being videotaped and hackers might try to get in here with this inside knowledge. But somewhere in here in this code that makes whyimmissingchess.com/Berks show that whyimmissing is at the top most years of the county. Look at our behind the scenes websites. Oh, darn it. There wasn't a for loop there, but there would be if I looked hard enough in this, in one of these code windows. There would be a for loop that shows, oh, close. Here's a while loop, which we'll soon learn in Visual Basic is very similar to for loop. So this code executes over and over again, and it matches up with the web page that I'm about to show you here. This is why we're studying this stuff, because Angry Birds and important websites like whyimmissingchess/Berks uses, right here, uses a loop to show this year's schedule right there. It's looping through a loop and showing what date. Tyler, be ready to get into this room if you're in the top 5, which you might be. Wilson at whyimmissing on January 27th. All because of that loop. So for loops and while loops are used all over the world as we speak. And even though this looks very abstract here on my busy work homework, Facebook, your news feed, it's a for loop that shows all your news feed items, all 3 of mine, because I have next to no friends. Some of your news feeds scroll forever. And your Twitter feeds, I don't even want to go there. I don't even want to know. Number 6 in the video. That's okay. 4, J equals something to something. Sum plus equals J again. And the word next. Now, I don't know why I'd want to do this, but there would be a situation in business probably where you want to add up the numbers that are separated by some gap. I'll let it as an exercise for you to figure out what the gap is here and therefore what to make the step amount. But who wants to add up these numbers in their head or even with a calculator when you can write a for loop that does it? Without computers, there would be no Facebook. Nobody would take the time to journal all of their interesting thoughts each day and what they ate and funny things and sayings like that. We wouldn't do it. But because it's so easy with computers, it goes viral, and you all walk around the hallways looking at your cell phones because of all these loops that are iterating. Okay, have a good day.